Hey, James Gunn,
Yes.
St. Louis native. This is one of the reasons why I told Mark, I was like, I have to be able to talk to this guy because it's so awesome that you've gotten a movie like Super with Ellen Page and Rainn Wilson done, and you are from St. Louis. It's
Yeah.
like my 6 degrees, except you're sitting 3 feet away from me.
Yeah, that's right. I think this is like my 7th movie or something that I've made. But this is the one that's the most important to me. This is the one that I feel the most attached to, the most committed to, and it's been a great experience so
Now,
far.
why is it the most important to you?
Well, it's a very personal film. You know, this is it's a very dark movie. It's a very extreme film. I was able to do exactly what I wanted with this movie from start to finish. I had no interference with any studios, producers whatsoever. So it was a great experience because of that. And I got to work with people who I love. I mean, Rainn Wilson, Ellen Page, Liv Tyler, all great people. Kevin Bacon was my hero when I was in high school, so it's amazing working with him. Nathan Fillion, my friend, Michael Rooker, my friend, my brother Sean Gunn, my best friend Linda Cardellini. So lots of people in this movie that gave their time, all for nothing. Basically, this movie we made for a couple $1 million, and
Really?
they all did the movie for scale. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so how did you manage to pull it off where you didn't have any interference from beginning to end?
Well, the truth is, when you do a movie for a very low budget, and you have a cast like I had behind me, who we had the cast all in place before we ever shot a frame of film, before we had the money to finance it. People, basically I went in there saying, listen, I'm doing this movie, I'm making this movie for what I get paid to do a big Hollywood movie. So I've got this cast behind me, and I'm going to do it the way that I want to do it. And if you guys are cool with me doing it the way I want to do it from start to finish, then I'm in. And if you don't want to do it that way, then I'm going to have to find someplace else.
Now, how did you get everybody to agree to just do it for scale? I mean, these are some huge names.
Well, they knew from the beginning that's the way it was. I think that it was, it gave a lot of people a chance to do a role that's different than what they normally do. Rainn Wilson, you see him as Dwight Schrute every week on The Office, and he's not a very vulnerable guy, but in this film, he's got a lot of vulnerability. It gives, Rainn the chance to be very funny, but there's also a whole lot of drama in the movie, and he doesn't get a chance to do that very much. You see him, how many movies have a, 10-minute long monologue scene where he's praying to God and crying, and this movie has that. So it really shows Rainn's breadth, of acting skills. And Ellen Page, who's normally asked to do these characters who are, sort of wise beyond their years, snarky. This is the exact opposite. This is a 23-year-old girl who's got the brain of a immature 8-year-old, and she's a sociopath, she's a nymphomaniac, and it's a completely unusual role for her to be playing. It gave her a chance to spread her wings in a different way, and she's fantastic in the movie.
Wow, I if anything else, I have to see it just for that.
Yeah.
I can't see her doing that.
Yeah, she is incredible. And I mean, I think that's one of the things that people really agree on in the movie is Ellen Page it's probably her best role. And this is from a person who was up for an Academy Award, was in Inception, one of the biggest movies of all time, and she's amazing.
Now, how did you reach out to all the stars in the film?
Well, I knew Rainn for a number of years. But my ex-wife is on The Office, Jenna Fisher, and we're still very close friends. And I wrote the script all the way back in 2002, and she called me up one day, and she said, listen, why haven't you made Super? I love that script. I really want you to make that movie. Why aren't you making it? And I said, well, it's a very strange and dark film. It's an unusual film, and it's hard to get money for that. And also, I can't find anybody for the lead actor. There are lots of actors who want to play the role, but nobody who is perfect for the role of Frank. I needed somebody who could do the comedic part of the role, the dramatic part of the role, who was a big enough goofball. You can imagine he's being picked on by his fellow short-order cook at the diner, but is also physically powerful enough you can imagine him kicking butt at the end of the movie. And she said, well, have you ever thought about Rainn? And I'd known Rainn for a while, and right away I was like, wow, that's really perfect. And so I gave him the script that day. An hour and a half, Rainn texted me back. An hour and a half later, Rainn texted me back, and he said, I'm on page 22. My hands are shaking. I'll do whatever I can to make this movie. I'm in. And that was it. And from there, we were sort of off to the races. And Rainn gave it to Ellen, and my agents gave it to Liv, and we just kind of got people little by little. And I didn't expect to get this cast because we were making it for no money. I thought it was going to be Rainn Wilson and a bunch of up-and-comers, but people just kept coming, and everybody wanted it. The role that Ellen Page got, I mean, everybody wanted. There was, like a feeding frenzy.
So how long did it take from start to finish, from when Rainn got the script, that you got this entire ensemble together, to like word of mouth and your agent and everything?
I mean, from then to now, it's about 2 years. So it's not, it really isn't that long. It took us about maybe 6 months to get all the funding together and the cast assembled. And then it took me about a year to make the movie, and then we finished the film and we sold it. We went to Toronto Film Festival. We were the first film sold at the Toronto Film Festival and to a distributor, and now the movie's coming out in theaters. So that's really the whole journey.
Who do you see most going to see this movie and really enjoying it?
Well, I think this movie, a lot of movies today are made for everybody. They want to please everyone. And this movie isn't that. This is really a movie that's for the oddballs, the rebels, the outcasts, the geeks. It's for the people out there that don't necessarily like everything in the movie that's completely mainstream. It's a film of a different color, and it's for those people, and that's who I am. And so I wanted to make movies for people like me, I suppose.
Well, no wonder I like you. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Is there anything else you'd like to add? I know you're doing screenings tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're opening at the Tivoli tonight. I will be doing a Q&A after the 7:30 show, so people should come on down and meet me and hang out and listen to the Q&A. And I'm a Q&A after the 7 o'clock show. And then I'm doing an intro to the 9:30 show.
Oh, okay.
So tonight at the Tivoli 7 o'clock show or the 9:30 show would be great.
And is there anything that you would like to add to up-and-coming filmmakers or writers or anything? Anybody who wants to break into this business? Because we are kind of in our own little St. Louis and here's LA.
Yeah. I mean, I say that the main thing, if you want to be successful at anything in life, you just finish what you start. The one thing I see young filmmakers doing is starting projects and not finishing them because they suck. But the truth is, when you start making films, they're going to suck. That's a part of what starting out is. So make a bunch of movies that suck. If you want to be a filmmaker, the first thing to do is to go make a bunch of short films that suck. That's a requirement. Don't be afraid of sucking. That's the one thing.
I think that's the line I'm going to remember throughout this entire... Don't be afraid of sucking. Okay. James Gunn said it, so if I suck, it's all his fault.
That's right. Even on the radio.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.